Okay, welcome to Sheringham. I'm a day early because I wanted to see what the beach looked like at low water. So this part is the groin area, shallow, sandy beach. Can be good for bass, odd sole, flounders, that type of thing. I've never done any good here, but the match tomorrow night is up that way to the left. So we're going to have a look what the ground looks like up there. Okay, I'm in the middle of the match length now, and the area down to my right is fairly clean, and I'd say the first 15 pegs after the lifeboat station, which is there, are gonna have a really strong chance of doing well, I'd say. And then as I pan round to the left, it then goes on to a bit of old marley stuff, and then the rough ground starts. But you might get 20 anglers this side of the rough ground. It depends how far they're pegged apart, but at the moment there's a bit of a stiff northerly and it's supposed to blow up rough tomorrow. I just hope it's not too rough to fish, but yeah, we'll go down on the sand and have a look at that just in case we get pegged up next to that rough stuff up there. Okay, this is the first bit of rough stuff I've bumped into. It's like a clay marley chalky type stuff, and it runs out there, but it'll only be in about 2 or 3 pegs. So if you draw on this, you really need to chuck it the other side onto this clean sand, and I'd say that's probably about 70 or 80 yard chuck to get the other side of it from the peg. But yeah, all doable. Okay, I've walked up to where I think's going to be roughly the end of the match length, and we've got this stuff, and this is rough. This is rocky and nasty really if your lead lands in that, but that's got codling written all over it. And if you can drop on this sand, there's a band of sand that's about 40 yards wide between the bottom of that shingle bank and the start of this rough stuff. So I think if you draw in peg tomorrow night and you manage to put a bait just this side of this rough stuff, I think you could walk away with the glory. But yeah, interesting to see what it looks like at low water. And that's quite a good chuck, so, and it's quite deep, so there's a good chance that we'll be able to fish this whatever the weather tomorrow night. So I'm stood at the high water mark, and from me down to that rough stuff down there 66 paces, so a cast probably 50 yards would be very useful tomorrow. Other than that, it might be clearer right out there, but with a stiff 25 mile an hour northerly, which is I believe what's forecast, might be wrong, but that's going to be a hell of a cast punching it into that. So I reckon right down the bottom of this shingle, anywhere between there and that rough ground, that'll take some beating. But as you look along the beach down to the right, where it goes onto clean sand, if there's a big old Dover sole, some bass, well, they could be all the way along, but yeah, looks really good. I've not done any good in here in the past, but when I've been pegged, I've been up in those groins right up to the right. But tomorrow I believe that every peg is coming down past the lifeboat station, and I don't know, I'm quite optimistic now I've been down here at low water. See you tomorrow night. Well, we're not at Sheringham Beach, we're at Cly. The match was last night, but we had to cancel it at the last minute. It was just too rough. The weather came through, it was horrendous. Strong northerly winds and there was big tide, there was no way we could fish it. We left it to the last minute, but we couldn't go ahead. So this is sort of Tuesday night, yeah, forget where I am. Tuesday night, and Leon, who's down there, and myself have decided to come for a couple of hours to Cly Beach, which is about sort of 20 minutes down the coast from Sheringham, Nice bit of sand in front of us, and we're just going to use the bait up that we should have used last night, but hopefully we'll get a bass. Tide's on the flood, and I'm just going to use a 2-hook flapper, one below the lead, one above it, 2'6", 3-foot snoods, baited with a mixture of lug and rag, and hopefully we'll catch something. But things don't always pan out as you want them to. I was really looking forward to that match at Sheringham, and so was everybody else, but we are going to make the best of it. If you've seen the video I did at Sizewell, then you've seen all this before, but it's a 1 up, 1 down, and then the snoods are about 2'6" on this occasion, give it a bit of movement. And then at the bottom there, there's a size, I think it's a size 1, and then there's about 5 or 6 inches, maybe 4 inches, of 65-70 pound braid attached to the mono snood. And all that does, especially if you fish up here a lot, there's lots and lots of crabs, and they can weaken, if not nick your hook off your line. But even if they weaken the line, that's not good. But I've found that bit of braid quite resilient, so quite a few of my rigs have got that on. And it doesn't cause me any problems, so I just keep doing it. But yeah, that's that. Well done, Leon. Got a nice flounder.
Yeah, cracker.
That is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well done. Well, I'm glad we came. I've got back from Leon and I've pulled in and I've got a double shot of flounders, and that's a good one. So yeah, we've still got about an hour of daylight left. So that's quite encouraging. Well, at the moment the sea's full of flounders, so we're getting them every cast. But hopefully the bass will move in as it's getting dark. But flounders are good to catch, and they're hungry because they're woofing the baits down. So yeah, I'm quite enjoying myself. Well, it's a beautiful evening and I'm glad to be down here. But Sheringham, I think if the conditions had been like this, that would have been good. I think we'd have caught some fish down there. But in the week I got some guidance on what species were down there by Pete Fairclough, Norfolk's probably best known bait digger, and he knows this place like the back of his hand all the way through. And so he told me what I should gear myself up to catch. So I felt that, having looked at the beach, spoken to him, I was in a really good position to do some good last night. So frustration at the weather is not the word. If it'd been like this, it'd have been ideal. Could have done exactly what I wanted to do. But never mind. Next match that I can fish, I think, is at Kelling. I can't make next week's one. I've got to, well, I haven't got to. I'm doing a bit of football with my boy, and it is at Yarmouth, and that's a 3-hour round trip for me. So I like to keep it a bit more local than that. And so, yeah, but assuming the weather permits, I think we're at Kelling, or perhaps back here at Cly. But either way, we've got loads of matches to go at. It's getting dark, and I'm trying to catch a bass. Well, knowing this beach like I do, because it's the closest one to my home, so I spend a bit of time here, the weed has picked up on the flood, and there is a great big swell coming in. So it looks like we might have to have an early bath, because once the weed gets here and starts dragging you round to the right with the tide, you might as well go home. But if I do bring you back, it's because we've caught a bass. If not, I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.